I wanted to check with you sometime to share about Scheherazade, the Persian storyteller, um, because I think for the friends who may join us and listen to us, it will it will give the essence of the way I'm sharing my stories. I feel like it's a story within the story within the story, like Scheherazade. So that might be easier if we have that background.
Yes,
Would it be okay if I share that story
yes,
with
it's
you?
great. Go ahead.
Have you heard of Persian story Scheherazade?
I haven't heard of that person specifically, but I know a lot of times Persian storytelling has a story within a story. And someone once mentioned that about my story, and I took it as like a really nice compliment.
Um, the story, as I heard, and I'm not sure if I have the exact story, is that there was a king, a ruler, absolute power, a long time ago, and as I heard, his wife betrayed him, so he was very wounded and hurt, and in revenge, he demanded that every night a young, beautiful woman would be brought to him, and in the morning, he will order to execute the woman. So he ordered his right hand person that this is what he wants. And that person was experiencing very deep inner conflict, that on one hand, he was the king and he was to obey and follow his order. On the other hand, night after night, a young, beautiful woman will be taken from their family and brought to him and to be beheaded the next morning. It was like, this is, how do I deal with this conflict?
Extreme.
And was very, very much in pain. He had a very wise daughter named Scheherazade. So Scheherazade understands what's going on and comes to her father, to his father, and says, "Father, please let me go. I want to go." And he says, "Absolutely not. He's gonna kill you in the morning." And she looks at her father and says, "Trust me, I have a plan that will not happen. I will be safe. Please let me go." And the father knew that his daughter was very wise and maybe intuitive, maybe with healing abilities. So, with his heart beating, he agrees that Sharzad goes. So, Sharzad goes to the palace and meets the king and start telling a story. And she was a master storyteller. And she was telling the story and telling the story until the sun rises through the whole night. And the king is hooked, as they say in Hay House. And he wants to know what's going to happen with the story, and asks Sharzad, "Will you come back tomorrow night?" And Sharzad gracefully agrees and says, "I will be back tomorrow night." So she comes back the night after night, and she keeps telling the story, and one story leads to another story and another night. So it becomes 1001 nights of sharing stories. And during that time, they fall in love and get married and happily ever after.
Wow, amazing. And you know how many young, beautiful people she saved?
That's the legend. Uh, I think the point of the story is that when, for me, is that when people are wounded, they may turn their pain into very aggressive, cruel, revengeful, hateful ways. That doesn't make any sense, but that's how the pain turns into that kind of choices. And that there is always a way to the heart. Maybe there is always a way to the soul. And if storytelling might be one option to reach someone's soul, then like woohoo,
Definitely.
maybe
Yes,
we are on the right path
definitely.
with our storytelling and
And
understanding.
everyone has a story to tell, whether they realize it or not. Everyone has
Exactly,
their own story to tell.
exactly. And if you haven't heard, Rimsky-Korsakov has beautiful orchestra melody about Scheherazade. It's wonderful. And maybe it could be played a little bit at the beginning of our conversation. I remember you were suggesting maybe a little bit music of Bijan's playing the piano.
Yeah.
Um, that's another option. If you haven't heard it, it's one of the most beautiful melodies I've heard. So um, I was wondering if you have any reflection about my mother's dream.
Going back to your mother's dream, it's amazing that she could tell such a beautiful and detailed account of her dream, that she shared it with you when you were a child. And I was asking you earlier how your sibling might have felt, but you said you don't know his take on the story, but it definitely stayed with you and made a very big impression. What a really horrific dream, but it kind of saved you when you remembered the the person in the robe, the brown robe with the sleeves.
What I was sharing with you was that many, many, many other times, there were other times that I felt watched over, very clear, um, and then reminded me of, oh, that story. Um, so, of course, at 8 months old, I don't remember anything. Um, but as I even think about it, three deadly infectious diseases for a baby, it was, I would call it a miracle. But again, it's different. You can say it was the penicillin. Be grateful for the science.
But the fact that you were able to get it is also kind of miraculous, that someone had a car, that you could get it at the right time.
So it was. I'm hoping that at other times I can share about those, and also about what might seem like coincidences, like my coming to America is one of those things that I would love to share the story sometime. Um, and people can decide whether it was just random, or maybe there was something deeper than that. Uh, Chance. Some people say, being lucky to be at this certain time with this meeting some certain person, and then your life changes. Or some people have bad luck and they're in the wrong place doing the wrong thing, wrong person, and vice versa. So again, it's a personal choice as how we interpret that. I feel like my longing is to share the story as an offering, as a gift, and leave it to the person. And I'm wondering if people would be able to contact us if
Please
there
leave
is.
comments in
They
the
can
chat.
leave comments, right?
Not the chat, sorry. Leave comments on YouTube.
Well, maybe if there is a question, maybe they can ask, and then we can talk about it the following segment.
Sure, sounds good.
I wanted to invite you, the writing that you had about the first day that we met was very heartwarming to me.
All right.
I was
Let's
wondering if you would be willing to read part of
sure.
it, all of it.
Let's do that next. So I'll say goodbye to you for now and we'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you. See you later.
Okay. All right. Take care.